So today we'll start with some problem of the Fourier transform. Last also we have been seeing some problems. Now we'll extend some other problems on this. First problem is related to Fourier transform of a rectangular pulse. So this xt is given as 1 for minus t naught to t plus t naught, and it is 0 other than this t naught. So this is the rectangular pulse. So if we draw this one, it is like this. It is your x of t is t, is minus t naught, is t naught, 0. Okay, all the values other than this is completely 0. It is having the amplitude of 1. So for this rectangular pulse we need to find out Fourier transform. Find Fourier transform of x of t. Okay, so how we'll go? X of j omega integration minus infinite to infinite x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt. Okay, so on this xt is 1 within the range minus t naught to t naught, minus t naught to t naught, 1 into e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? So if we do the integration, minus 1 by j omega will come here, then e to the power minus j omega t is minus t naught to t naught. So it has been coming as minus 1 by j omega e to the power minus j omega t naught minus e to the power j omega t naught. So 2j will take in the denominator and minus will change, then that will become sine omega t naught. So 1 2 will come, 2 by omega sine of omega t naught. So this value is for omega naught is equals to 0. So how to find for omega equals to 0? By taking the limit, right? So for omega equals to 0, what we are going to do? We take the limit twice by omega sine omega t naught. So it is twice t naught, right? So in general what we can write, that x of j omega is twice by omega sine omega t naught, right? So with the fact that we can able to find the value of omega equals to 0 by taking the limit. Okay, by taking the limit we can find the value of this x of j omega at omega equals to 0, right? So from this we can find out magnitude spectrum as well as phase spectrum, or we can write this one as a sinc function also. X j omega is equals to twice t naught sinc of omega t naught by pi, right? Omega t naught by pi. So this is in terms of sinc function. What is that sinc function? Sine of pi u by pi u, right? That is sinc function. So we can also represent this one as a sinc function. So what will be this magnitude spectrum? X of j omega for this twice of magnitude of this part, right? Sine omega t naught by omega. What will be the phase spectrum? Argument of x j omega. What will be that? Phase value. If we go with omega greater than 0, find out this argument. Next, some numerical problem, right, like this. It is about a rectangular pulse. Next, in general, we have been taking some numerical values like this. You just try to find out this argument from this function. X of t is e to the power twice t u of minus t. What will be x of j omega? Same, we need to put over here this xt, but it is u of minus t, right? So it will start from, where from it will start, as it is minus t. If it is plus t, u of t, it is starting from 0 and going to the right hand side. If it is minus t, then it will start from 0 and going to the left hand side, right? Isn't it? So we can say integration limit is minus infinite to 0, right? Yes or no? I don't know why you people are not responding. X of j omega is integration minus infinite to infinite x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? So here x of t is e to the power twice t u of minus t, then it will start from minus infinite and going up to 0. E to the power twice t e to the power minus j omega t dt minus infinite to 0 e to the power, if we take t common, then it is twice minus j omega t dt, right? Now take the integration, e to the power twice minus j omega t by twice minus j omega minus infinite to 0, right? Right or not? Then find out this value. What will be this value? A simple problem. If we put 0, then 1 by twice minus j omega will come, then e to the power 0 and e to the power minus infinite and e to the power minus infinite. So what is this e to the power minus infinite? E to the power infinite is how much?
0.
0, and e to the power 0 is 1. 1 by twice minus j omega, right? So in this way we need to find out. Clear? You just find out this argument, this value, and tell me. Next, inverse Fourier transform of a rectangular spectrum. That rectangular pulse is in the time domain. Now we are supposed to take a rectangular pulse in the frequency domain. Inverse Fourier transform of a rectangular spectrum. So how it is given? It is given as x of j omega is 1 for the frequency range of minus w to w. It is omega and this one is w. And it is 0 for omega greater than w. Okay. So we need to find out inverse Fourier transform of this. So that is x of t, right? Is 1 by 2s pi minus infinite to infinite x of j omega e to the power j omega t d omega, right? So 1 by 2s pi integration, it is minus w to w, x of j omega is 1 e to the power j omega t d omega. So it is 1 by 2s pi integration. If you do the integration, j omega will come here e to the power j omega t, sorry, jt will come, as we have been doing with respect to omega, jt will come and it is minus w to w, right? So we need to replace this omega by this w. So it is 1 by 2s pi, or we can take this j t, 1 by j 2s pi t, then this one will become 1 is plus 1 is minus e to the power j w t minus e to the power minus j w t, right? So this 2j will go to the denominator, then this one will become sin wt. So 1 by pi t sin wt, right? So this one is for t not is equals to 0. So for same way, for t is equals to 0, we need to go with L'Hospital rule, that is limit t tends to 0 1 by pi t sin wt. So this one is how much? T will get cancelled, this one will cause, then t will put, if you then w will come here, w by pi, right? So what is this xt? X of t is 1 by pi t sin wt, with the knowledge that t can be found out by taking limit, right? Or we can also write this one as sinc function, that is, so one w we need to consider here and t will go sin omega wt by wt. So w will come here 1, then pi sinc of wt by pi. Okay, clear? Next, Fourier transform of the unit impulse. That is, our xt is del of t, Now here is one problem what we have been seen and what we have been discussed, that the signal xt must satisfy Dirichlet condition, right? It must satisfy Dirichlet condition, but this xt does not satisfy the Dirichlet condition since the discontinuity at the origin is infinite. But what we have seen, that discontinuity must be finite. So what is the discontinuity? Discontinuity is at t is equals to 0. It is of infinite value. An impulse at the origin, it is like this. It is our xt. It is at t is equals to 0. It is t. So at this t is equals to 0, some discontinuity is there, because after that no signal is exist. So we can say at t is equals to 0 discontinuity exists, but according to the Dirichlet condition, what we know, that this discontinuity must be finite. Okay, but here the discontinuity is of infinite. But still, if we do the problem, means if we go with the solution of this, how we can find x of j omega integration minus infinite to infinite del of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? Though it is not satisfying Dirichlet condition, but if we go with our normal procedure to find out the Fourier transform, we can find out. Since it is having certain discontinuity, though it is not at all been possible theoretically, but if we go with the numerical process, we can find out the value of this Fourier transform. So what will be the value? So it is our xt into del of t minus t naught. Okay, so t naught here is 0. So we can take this one is 1. So we can say the evaluation of unity follows from the shifting property of the impulse function, right? So this del t, if we take the Fourier transform, it is unity 1. Okay. So what was the problem? We have been found that it is having a discontinuity which is of infinite in nature. But if we go with the theoretical process, that it says it is not at all been maintaining Dirichlet condition. It is not at all satisfying the Dirichlet condition. But if we go with the numerical process, we can find out the value of this Fourier transform. Okay, so it is only possible for this impulse function. Next, if we go with the inverse of this impulse spectrum, inverse Fourier transform of an impulse spectrum. One we have been taking in the time domain, another we have been taking in the frequency domain. So that is x of j omega is given as twice pi of del of omega. So if we go with finding this x of t, how we can find 1 by twice pi integration minus infinite to infinite twice pi del of omega e to the power j omega t d omega, right? So if we are going to find this value, except this twice pi, rest of the part is 1, right? So this twice pi will get cancelled. This is 1. So what we can say, if a signal that is a constant value is exist in the time domain, that is unity, if you take the Fourier transform, then we can able to get frequency domain signal as twice pi del of omega. A constant value signal that is unity is exist in the time domain. If you take the Fourier transform of that, we can able to get twice pi of del omega, an impulse in the frequency domain. But if we are having an impulse in the time domain, then if we take the Fourier transform, then we have been getting 1. But if this 1 is in the frequency domain, unity is in the frequency domain, one value will maintaining throughout the frequency spectrum. But if we go with this unity is exist in the time domain, and constant value signal with amplitude of 1, if we take the Fourier transform of that, it will result into 2 pi of del omega. So this implies that the frequency content of a DC signal is concentrated entirely at omega equals to 0, right? So we can say the frequency content of a DC signal, obviously as it is having constant value, as it is a constant value, we can say it is a DC signal, is concentrated entirely at omega equals to 0. This is del omega, omega equals to 0. So we can write the frequency content of a DC signal is concentrated entirely at omega equals to 0. Okay. I'm just giving you a problem, just try to solve this one. We need to find out inverse Fourier transform. Inverse Fourier transform. So some x of j omega is given as twice cos of omega for omega less than pi and 0 for omega greater than pi. Try to find out. Do it right now. Try to find out this xt. Just do it. Are you doing? Oh, speak out. One is 18, another is 25, means 17 and 24. No. 15 and 23. What happened today? Tell me the result. Are you doing or not? Otherwise don't waste time. What is the result? How much you did? Just tell me. Anyone? Okay, leave it. I don't know whether people are doing or not. So the answer for this problem, this xt is sine pi of t plus 1 by pi t plus 1 plus sine of pi t minus 1 by pi t minus 1. Okay, so at last we can conclude by taking properties of this Fourier representation, all the properties whatever we have been seen and all the 4 Fourier representation. We are going to see these properties of these 4 Fourier representations. Properties in the sense, what are the expressions for this Fourier representation? So we are having 4 Fourier representation depending upon the signal, either their time domain signal or their frequency domain signal. On the time domain, either their continuous signal, either their discrete signal. Same, either their periodic signal, either their non-periodic signal. So this periodic and non-periodic both are exist in continuous as well as discrete time domain, right? So this 4-way we have been doing this Fourier series or Fourier transform. One is depending upon either the signal is continuous or discrete. Now if a signal is continuous, either it is periodic or non-periodic. Same, if a signal is discrete, either it is periodic or non-periodic. So if you take continuous and periodic signal, then we have been going with Fourier series. If it is continuous and non-periodic, then we have been going with Fourier transform. Next, if it is discrete and periodic, then we have been going with DTFS, that is discrete time Fourier series. If it is discrete and non-periodic, then we have been going with DTFT, that is discrete time Fourier transform. So if we write like this, time domain, how it has been in the time domain, next, either it is periodic or non-periodic, it may be continuous time, it may be discrete time. Next, it may be non-periodic. Same, it may be continuous time, it may be discrete time. Next, we'll see frequency domain representation. First, if you take on the time domain, it is continuous, that is continuous time domain. So on the periodic, we need to go with, if it is continuous and periodic, then we need to go with Fourier series. Fourier series if it is continuous and periodic. So what is this x of t here? It is summation k is equals to minus infinite to infinite x of k e to the power j k omega naught t, right? Whereas this x of k is integration 0 to t x of t e to the power minus j k omega naught t dt. So xt has the period of t, and our fundamental frequency omega naught, it is represented by twice pi by t. Next, if we have been considering a continuous time signal but it is non-periodic, then we have been going with Fourier transform. So for that case, x of t is 1 by twice pi integration minus infinite to infinite x of j omega e to the power j omega t d omega, whereas this x of j omega is integration minus infinite to infinite xt e to the power minus j omega t dt. Okay, so it is about continuous time signal. Next, if we have been going with discrete time signal, that is n. So if it is discrete and periodic, then it is known as DTFS, discrete time Fourier series, DTFS. So here this x of n is summation k is equals to 0 to n minus 1 x of k e to the power j k omega naught n, whereas this x of k is 1 by n summation n is equals to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e to the power minus j k omega naught n, where this xn and xk have the period n. This xn and x of k have period of n. So this is having the relation with the fundamental frequency as twice pi by n. Next, if we consider discrete and non-periodic, then we have been going with DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform. So for this case, x of n is 1 by twice pi integration minus pi to pi x of e to the power j omega e to the power j omega n d omega. This x of e to the power j omega is summation n is equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n e to the power minus j omega n. So here this x e to the power j omega has period of twice pi. That is what we have been considered, right? That is what we have considered. Clear up to this? If it is continuous and periodic, we have been going with Fourier series. This is the representation in the Fourier series. If it is continuous and it is non-periodic, then this is the representation of Fourier transform. If it is discrete and periodic, then it is DTFS. This is the representation. If it is discrete non-periodic, then it is DTFT. Okay? Clear? Now if we have been going with a continuous time signal, if we have been going with a continuous time signal, if we have been finding the Fourier series or Fourier transform of a continuous time signal, either it is periodic or non-periodic. If we have been finding for a continuous time signal, then the frequency domain representation will be non-periodic. If we have been going with frequency domain, then for a continuous time signal, either it is periodic or non-periodic, when we have been looking into the frequency domain signal, that frequency domain signal will be non-periodic. Same, if we have been going with a discrete time signal, either it is periodic or non-periodic. For a discrete time signal, it will be periodic. Okay, it will be periodic. So what I said, if we have been going with a continuous time signal, if it is periodic or non-periodic, if it is periodic, then we need to apply Fourier series. If it is non-periodic, we need to apply Fourier transform. Then the frequency domain signal, what we have been getting, either it is k or omega, either it is k or this omega, this one will be non-periodic. Now if we have been going with a discrete time signal, when if it is periodic we need to apply DTFS, if it is non-periodic we need to apply DTFT. So this frequency domain signal for this discrete time signal, either it is periodic or non-periodic, the frequency domain signal will always be periodic. So this DTFS we have been representing with k, and this DTFT we have been representing with this omega. Clear? Right? So depending upon the periodicity property of this Fourier transform, so if we have been writing like this, time domain property and frequency domain property, and frequency domain property, so a signal in time domain which is continuous, in time domain will be non-periodic in frequency domain. Continuous time signal in the time domain, it will be non-periodic in the frequency domain. Next, a discrete time signal in time domain, will be periodic in frequency domain. Next, a periodic signal in the time domain, that will be discrete in the frequency domain. Same, a non-periodic signal, it will be continuous in the frequency domain. So what is that? A signal which is continuous in time domain, it will be non-periodic in the frequency domain. A signal which is discrete in the time domain will be periodic in the frequency domain. Now a signal which is periodic in time domain, periodic means it may be continuous time, it may be discrete time. So a signal which is periodic, that will always be discrete in the frequency domain. So this periodic signal, that may be a continuous time signal, that may be a discrete time signal, but that will always be a discrete time signal in the frequency domain. Next, a non-periodic signal in time domain will always be a continuous time signal, continuous signal in the frequency domain. Clear up to this? Next, we are supposed to see linearity and symmetry property. And symmetry property. So let us consider a signal zt is represented by ax of t plus by of t. Now if we apply Fourier transform on this, so that one will become continuous time signal, that one will become z of j omega, this one is in small letter. When we have been going to the frequency domain, we have been going with the capital letter, right? So this one will become a x of j omega plus b y of j omega. We are applying linearity and symmetry property on the signal. So a signal is represented by zt in the time domain as a summation of two different signals, right? Next, zt is a x of t plus b y of t. We are supposed to apply Fourier series. So Fourier transform means continuous time signal but it is non-periodic. Fourier series means continuous time signal but it is periodic. So here the fundamental frequency is omega naught. So that one will be z of k. Z of k is equals to a x of k plus b y of k. Next, we are supposed to apply DTFT, means discrete time signal, and it is non-periodic. Z of n, a x of n plus b y of n. So we are supposed to apply DTFT. So it is z e to the power j omega. When we apply DTFT, that one will become x e to the power j omega plus b y of e to the power j omega, right? Same, we are supposed to apply DTFS. B y of n. DTFS, fundamental frequency is omega naught. Same, z of k is equals to a x of k plus b y of k. So these are the linearity and symmetry property. Okay. So first Fourier transform, second Fourier series, then DTFT, then DTFS. Fine. Now let us solve a problem depending upon this linearity and symmetry property. So if a signal is given as x of t is equals to twice e to the power minus t u of t minus 3 e to the power minus of twice t u of t, this xt is given, right? So we need to use the linearity property. So obviously it is continuous time, non-periodic. So obviously we need to find out Fourier transform, that is x of j omega, right? X of j omega. So what will be this x of j omega? So we need to apply this one for this part Fourier transform, for this part Fourier transform, right? So it is e to the power minus at, if you can remember, This one is 1 by 1 plus 1 by a plus j omega. We did the problem last day most probably. Yes, this one, a to the power at. So we have been getting as 1 by a plus j omega, 1 by a plus j omega, right? So similarly we need to apply, or we need to perform the Fourier transform here. So if we have been going with this Fourier transform, this one will be 2 by, here a is 1, so 1 plus j omega, minus 3 will remain same, a is 2, so it is 2 plus j omega, like this. Fine. Similarly, you just try to solve this problem. You just note it down and try to solve that x of n, a discrete time signal is given. It is given as 4 into half to the power n un minus 1 by pi n sine pi n by 4. So which Fourier representation you supposed to apply here? This is your xn is given, obviously it is discrete time signal is given. So which one is supposed to apply? Out of these 4, which one is supposed to apply here? This one is periodic. This one is periodic. You just note it down and try to think and try to apply the Fourier representation out of this 4. Okay. Okay, I am concluding up to this.